In this video, I will tell you about the movies that came out at the wrong time. But first, I have a challenge for you. Only 5% of viewers will be able to like and subscribe to the channel before time runs out. 3, 2, 1. Comment done if you manage to do it in time. A film's success isn't just about a good story, acting, and directing. One of the key factors is timing, but even that can be rendered meaningless without a strong marketing campaign. Quality films often flop at the box office simply because they were released at the wrong time in the wrong place. A premiere too close to a major blockbuster, a poorly chosen release date, inadequate marketing, or a concept that's too niche, all of these can result in a deserving film being overlooked by the mass audience. Below is a selection of such films. They were strong, bold, and original, but the public chose differently. The Prestige, 2006. Christopher Nolan's intellectual thriller tells the story of two rival illusionists, Alfred Borden, masterfully portrayed by Christian Bale, and Robert Angier, brought to life by the charismatic Hugh Jackman. Their competition evolves into a personal war, full of betrayal, secrets, and scientific experimentation. The characters' obsession drives them to moral and physical sacrifices, blurring the lines between reality and illusion. David Bowie also delivers a brilliant performance as Nikola Tesla, who creates a mysterious device capable of redefining miracles in science. The film cost the studio $40 million and earned $109 million worldwide. However, that wasn't enough to classify it as a full-fledged hit. In October 2006, when The Prestige was released, audiences were focused on Martin Scorsese's The Departed, which had premiered 2 weeks earlier and grossed over $290 million. Additionally, The Illusionist, starring Edward Norton, was released around the same time, another magician-themed story, creating direct thematic competition. Flags of Our Fathers by Clint Eastwood and Man of the House were also in theaters, targeting different niches. Without a major marketing push and surrounded by more aggressively promoted films, The Prestige remained in the shadows. Nevertheless, over time, it became a cult example of high-quality intellectual cinema. Tron, Legacy, 2010. This futuristic sequel to 1982's Tron follows Sam Flynn, played by Garrett Hedlund, who goes in search of his missing father, Kevin Flynn, a gifted programmer, once again portrayed by the legendary Jeff Bridges. Sam finds himself in a virtual world governed by a harsh digital regime. Visually, the film is stunning. Neon aesthetics, futuristic architecture, and an iconic soundtrack by Daft Punk create a truly immersive audiovisual experience. The film had a budget of $170 million and grossed about $400 million. However, with an estimated $100 million spent on marketing, the project barely broke even. Despite bright posters and teasers, the campaign failed to communicate that the movie wasn't just a visual spectacle, but a philosophical story about control, freedom, and human identity. The December 2010 release date placed it among a crowded lineup of blockbusters: The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Tourist with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1, which grossed nearly $1 billion. All these drew attention away from a less obvious choice. Despite its visuals and unique style, Tron, Legacy couldn't compete. King Arthur, 2004. Antoine Fuqua presented a grittier, more realistic take on the Arthurian legend. The central character, a Roman officer named Arthur, is played by Clive Owen. He leads a group of mercenaries who eventually become the legendary Knights of the Round Table. The film combines historical drama, action, and meditations on freedom, power, and loyalty. Keira Knightley plays Guinevere, reimagined as both a warrior ally and a symbol of Celtic resistance. The production budget was about $120 million, and it earned $203 million globally. Despite its epic scope, it struggled to find success. In June 2004, the third Harry Potter film was still in theaters, and on June 30th, Spider-Man 2 premiered, raking in over $789 million. In May, Shrek 2 had launched, becoming a global phenomenon with more than $900 million. Against these emotionally resonant and vibrant titles, King Arthur came across as a dark, dry war drama. The marketing campaign failed to clearly define the genre. Audiences expected magic, but got historical realism. The result: weak interest and a short theatrical run. Blade Runner 2049, 2017. Director Denis Villeneuve crafted a philosophical sequel to the cult sci-fi classic. Ryan Gosling stars as Officer K, a replicant hunter whose investigation leads him to Rick Deckard, Harrison Ford's character who has been in hiding for decades. The film explores artificial intelligence, memory, the soul, and what it means to be human in a world where technology is inseparable from life. With a $150 million budget, the film grossed $259 million. Despite its powerful visuals and critical acclaim, it failed to attract a broad audience. The marketing focused on atmosphere and visuals, but didn't reveal the plot's intrigue. In October 2017, theaters were dominated by It, which had premiered in September and earned $700 million, as well as the upcoming Thor, Ragnarok, November 3rd, and Justice League, November 17th. Fans of Marvel and DC, along with viewers exhausted by complex themes, opted for more accessible, entertaining films. Even with a star-studded cast, Blade Runner 2049 remained a critical darling, but was overlooked by the masses. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 2010. Michael Cera stars as Scott Pilgrim, a shy guitarist from Toronto whose life changes when he falls for the mysterious Ramona Flowers, played by the charismatic Mary Elizabeth Winstead. To win her heart, Scott must defeat her 7 evil exes in battles inspired by video games, comics, and anime. Directed by Edgar Wright, this unique action comedy blends pop culture, romance, music, and absurdity. The film had a $60 million budget, but grossed only $49 million. Its box office failure stemmed not only from its unusual style, but also strong competition. Nolan's Inception, released in July, was still dominating theaters in August through word of mouth. The Expendables, led by Sylvester Stallone, launched around the same time and drew a massive action fan audience. Scott Pilgrim was caught between serious sci-fi and nostalgic action. The marketing failed to clearly communicate what the film offered. Some expected a rom-com, others a straight-up action film. As a result, it missed its box office potential, but later gained a devoted cult following. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, 2017. Luc Besson's epic sci-fi film, based on the French graphic novel, tells the story of 2 special agents, Valerian, Dane DeHaan, and Laureline, Cara Delevingne, who travel through Alpha, a sprawling intergalactic metropolis inhabited by thousands of civilizations. Visually, the film is a dazzling fireworks display of color, design, and world-building. With a $180 million budget, it earned only about $225 million, flopping in the US. The reasons: weak marketing and unfamiliar leads. That same summer saw releases like Dunkirk and Wonder Woman, while audiences simply didn't know what to expect from Valerian: art house or popcorn entertainment. Though visually ahead of its time, its box office journey ended in disappointment. The Life of David Gale, 2003. This political drama stars Kevin Spacey as a professor sentenced to death for a crime he may not have committed. Kate Winslet plays a journalist trying to uncover the truth. The film tackles the controversial issues of capital punishment, justice, and morality. Despite a strong cast, it was poorly received and flopped, earning $38 million on a $38 million budget. The release coincided with a wave of major premieres. The Pianist was still playing, The Double Life of Veronique was beginning its festival run, and The Matrix Reloaded was just around the corner. In the US, the film was criticized for excessive emotion and moralizing, though over time, audiences came to appreciate its relevance and dramatic power. The Big Lebowski, 1998. The Coen brothers' comedy about Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, a laid-back bowling enthusiast who gets caught up in a crime plot, is filled with absurd scenarios, dry humor, and colorful characters. Initially, it grossed just $18 million on a $15 million budget and was considered a failure. Audiences expected something more serious from the Coens after Fargo, and the strange structure and ambiguous genre confused viewers. That season also featured Titanic, Saving Private Ryan, and The Truman Show. Loud, emotional, and more accessible films. But over time, The Big Lebowski became a cult classic with a global fan base. Oblivion, 2013. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, this sci-fi film stars Tom Cruise as Jack Harper, a drone technician on a nearly deserted Earth after a devastating alien war. His life changes when he begins to question the official story and uncovers secrets about humanity's fate and his own past. The film features stunning landscapes, futuristic tech, and philosophical themes about memory and identity. The budget was about $120 million, and global earnings reached $286 million. Despite decent numbers, Oblivion lost viewer attention in the US and elsewhere to bigger titles. It premiered in April 2013 during a blockbuster-heavy period that included Iron Man 3, which made over $1.2 billion, and The Dark Knight Rises, still fresh in audiences' minds. The marketing campaign was relatively low-key and failed to make the film stand out in an oversaturated sci-fi market. As a result, Oblivion didn't achieve expected commercial success and faded into the background. Conclusion: even great films need the right moment. Every title listed above had real potential: original plots, talented directors, star power, and striking visuals or concepts. But they lost the battle for audience attention due to poor timing, intense competition, or unclear marketing strategies. Today, these films are cherished by cinephiles and rewatched with admiration. But their release stories remain a reminder that success in the film industry depends not only on quality, but on context. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other videos. There's still a lot of interesting stuff. See you later.